Your favorite villain?
My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
When people say I'm a troll, I say,
I don't know why you're saying I'm trolling people. I'm doing what you've conditioned.
If you were really paying attention, you noticed something didn't add up in 50 Cent's documentary, and you're not the only one asking questions. The film may have shattered records, but according to Jaguar Wright, it also quietly stepped back from a major promise. She alleges that a list of high-profile names, Beyoncé, Naomi Campbell, Demi Moore, Jennifer Lopez, Ellen DeGeneres, and Oprah Winfrey, was intentionally cut from the final version, reportedly to protect powerful financial interests tied to the platform. Even more striking is her claim that 50 Cent himself may have been involved in that decision. Now, we're breaking down the names that were left out and the key details that raise serious questions so you can examine the full picture for yourself.
Wait, it was done too well. It left out too many things.
So can you speak on Curtis Jackson? 50 Cent said that this is the first one.
I'm sure.
There's hundreds of hours of more footage.
I'm sure there was hundreds of hours of shit that was confiscated from all of Diddy's homes in that HSI raid that never made it to the trial. I wonder where it made it to.
The first name Jaguar Wright brings into focus is Beyoncé, a figure who has faced public scrutiny for years. She insists she raised concerns long before 50 Cent's documentary ignited fresh debate over names that may have been removed. According to her claims, Beyoncé was more than a passive presence at high-profile gatherings linked to Jay-Z and Sean Combs. She suggests a deeper level of involvement, supported by accounts that place her at the center of disputed moments and benefiting from their outcomes. Meanwhile, her career has only accelerated since her marriage to Jay-Z, marked by major awards and global recognition. Now, the documentary is reigniting attention on claims that have long remained out of the spotlight, prompting renewed questions about what may have stayed hidden.
Would you call the documentary educational, informational, entertaining? What would you say this documentary?
Gaslighting.
Gaslighting.
And it's sad because there's a lot of stuff in there that's true.
Jaguar Wright brought her claims involving Beyoncé and Jay-Z into the spotlight during an appearance with Piers Morgan, outlining allegations she believes have long remained out of public view. Reports indicate the couple responded with a cease and desist notice tied to the broadcast, though no defamation lawsuit followed. That decision has fueled ongoing discussion, with some online voices arguing that formal legal action could amplify the situation rather than contain it. As one widely shared comment on X pointed out, Jaguar Wright has been making claims about high-profile figures for years, yet direct legal challenges addressing her statements have remained limited, adding another layer of intrigue to an already polarizing narrative.
The story isn't over, I agree. Like, that's the thing. The story's not even being told. Because in order to tell the actual whole story, you would have to include everyone that is involved. But no, this is about saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Okay, Diddy's going to jail. He's going to do his time. I don't know what that appeal is looking like right now. Because see, the one thing that all of this documentary shit is doing is definitely fucking up his possibility for an appeal to get out early. Especially with the judge and them and the appeal board having to look at the footage of him sitting there with Mark Agnifilo, pretty much working on how to fix the trial.
And for him to be watching the feds watching him.
Yeah, film me, the feds. Wow.
Another name drawing attention in discussions surrounding Sean Combs is Naomi Campbell, whose long-standing association with him has placed her within the broader conversation. Over the years, her presence in elite social circles has also led to public scrutiny, particularly regarding reported connections to high-profile figures such as Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. These associations have prompted ongoing questions about the networks and influence surrounding some of the world's most prominent personalities, adding further depth to an already complex narrative.
Did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it, blame it all on Diddy, and the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on, like we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs with Diddy.
In that courtroom. Do you think that hip hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that behavior.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. Because you'll see people saying that. I mean, he may feel a different way about pieces and bits of it, but
Naomi Campbell's past legal challenges have frequently surfaced in conversations about her public image and controversies. In 1998, she was convicted in a case involving an assault on her assistant, and in the years that followed, additional incidents brought further scrutiny, including reported altercations with staff and disputes involving authorities. Observers have pointed out that many of these events unfolded during a period when she was closely connected to influential social circles, including figures like Sean Combs. Despite repeated legal challenges, she avoided custodial sentences in several instances, and in a later case involving a photographer, she received a suspended sentence remaining free while continuing to face public and legal examination.
He announced he was going to be doing the documentary December 2023 with Netflix. And the star footage that you use to get people to re-upload or resubscribe to Netflix to make this the #1 in their TV shows division for almost 2 weeks straight. Beating out Stranger Things. How much stranger is that?
I'm not Becky.
This footage didn't even exist when you said you were going to be doing this documentary. So we've got a videographer, a rogue videographer that has this very, very, very explosive, very explosive footage of him literally sitting on camera, planning how to go after survivors, how to poison the jury pool, how to fix his trial in advance before he's even arrested. I mean, like, is anybody not forgetting when Mark Agnifilo was sitting there talking to the sons in the hallway, and they're sitting there filming, and he's sitting up there, yeah, well, see, what we gotta do is we gotta go and we gotta put countersuits on all of these people. We have to create lawsuits ourselves. He's sitting there talking about creating lawsuits to affect public perception.
If the attention surrounding Naomi Campbell seemed striking, the history linked to Demi Moore adds another layer to the broader conversation. Known to have moved within similar high-profile circles connected to Sean Combs, Moore faced renewed scrutiny after an old 1982 video resurfaced online. The footage, recorded at a birthday gathering for her then-teenage General Hospital co-star Philip Tanzini, shows behavior that has since been widely debated by viewers. Decades later, its reappearance has reignited discussion, with audiences revisiting the context and questioning how moments from the past are interpreted under today's standards.
No cost in doing this because he wanted to tell the story, and he wanted to tell the story like it was supposed to be told and everything like that. I said, yeah, okay. So then the director, I gotta get her name, man, because it don't even sound. I want to put her on blast because she was telling me, you know, she was saying to me that what I was asking for was crazy, and they wasn't spending money like that. I'm talking about you got footage, you got clothing, you got. I was doing footage. I had pictures. All the stuff that I had, you know, you could figure out a way to pay a brother and stuff like that. And then I was telling her about some prices that I've already received, and I had the invoices to show it. And then she was calling me like I was lying. I was like, yo, who do you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, you know, there's no way nobody paid. Nobody what? I say, first of all you people come with these documentaries and stuff, the first thing you tell me, y'all tell these people out here that y'all don't pay, and y'all pay. If you could make a picture look like $10,000, $15,000, you know what I'm saying? You could sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, you know, one thing led to another, and I was like, yeah, all right, well then, you know, F you, you know, I spoke to 50, and then she said 50, and this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and go out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay, he determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you gonna pay me if the 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about. So that's why you don't see a cameo other than the pictures they used of me on the film in the documentary. I got like 3 or 4 pictures in the documentary that I've seen of myself. You know, some people say they saw more, but I know three different times where I was certain places that you could actually see me in the documentary, and that's the only thing you're gonna get. But the stories that they told in the documentary, bruh, come on. They could have went a whole lot deeper. They could have did a whole lot more.
One of the most difficult dimensions of Demi Moore's story lies in her early life, which she has described in interviews as deeply challenging and, at times, unsafe. She has shared that by her mid-teens, she found herself in environments where she felt exposed and unsupported, pointing to situations where her well-being was not always prioritized. According to her own accounts, these experiences placed her in vulnerable positions at a young age, with limited guidance or protection. This personal history adds important context to her journey, offering a more nuanced understanding of the obstacles she has said influenced both her path and the public scrutiny that has followed her over the years.
Leading up to him getting arrested, and how you feel about all that, man?
Well, what I feel about the documentary, they left a whole lot of key things out. If they was gonna do something and they're gonna say in the reckoning of Sean Combs, the reckoning, or Diddy, the reckoning and stuff like that, it should have been a lot of people that we lost because of him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't only Big, it wasn't only Tupac, you understand? For the atmosphere that he put those kids in. You got a guy named Anthony Wolf Jones, who was from Bad Boy, from its conception as doing security and being one of the financiers of Puff having to have some money to keep Big and Craig Mack around. before he got to Clive Davis. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't able to tell that story because they didn't have no intel on that story or what went down, or they didn't do their investigations right, which he also led up to the reason why Wolf ain't here today. You understand? They didn't tell that story. They didn't tell a story about Jessica Rosenbaum, who was at the City College.
Among those drawing attention in the aftermath of events linked to Sean Combs, Ellen DeGeneres became a subject of online discussion in 2024 after announcing plans to relocate to England shortly following reports of a raid tied to his Miami property. The timing of her move quickly sparked speculation, with observers pointing to what they saw as a noticeable shift in her public image, including a new hairstyle, as she stepped into a different phase abroad. For some, these changes were interpreted as an effort to create distance from the broader wave of controversy, further fueling conversation around the evolving situation.
If they had had any testimony from Little Rod and the footage that he had from that incident, that firearm incident where the guy G was damn near mortally wounded and was losing his life, and the footage that he had from that. Can you imagine if that had been shown to the jury?
I can, oh man.
Like, why not? If it was available for them to get it from Little Rod to put it in a documentary, and Little Rod hasn't gone to trial yet, then why in God's name hasn't any, why did any of this make it to the feds?
That's a great question. Why didn't they even subpoena or talk to?
Curtis Jackson announced in December of 2023, after Cassie's lawsuit came out, that he was going to be doing his own documentary. Isn't it very clever that all of this, alarming and stuff didn't come out of his documentary until almost 6 months after his verdict came in? 2 months after he had been sentenced? It was almost as if they were holding the documentary to not get in the way of his trial. Like, that's the thing that's tripping me out when it's coming to all of this Curtis Jackson praise that's coming on. And there's a lot of people. If he didn't get paid, usually it's like 90 days before you start, you got to put in an invoice and all of that stuff. Like, his business machine was still businessing. You telling me nobody around him. That sounds like a setup to me.
Sounds like a setup.
It sounds like a setup to me. And when you think about the fact that, another conversation that we've been having, a lot of people aren't paying attention to the money behind the machine. BlackRock, Vanguard, owners of Diageo, the company that Diddy tried to go after and had to settle out of court for, with sealed findings, and nobody really knows how that turned out before his life got turned upside down and HSI came in raiding, grabbing all kinds of evidence and all kinds of stuff. They're part owners in Netflix. Did you know that?
That's information.
The very company that has allegedly been going out of their way to work with the higher-ups to make Diddy's life a living hell have a stake in the platform that's now ruining what's left of his reputation worldwide.
What many observers find especially intriguing is the sudden reappearance of Ellen DeGeneres. After reportedly stepping away from the U.S. in the wake of developments linked to Sean Combs, her return to the public eye has sparked renewed discussion. Some note that the timing appears to align with shifts in his legal situation, raising questions about whether the two are connected. While no direct link has been confirmed, the sequence of events has fueled speculation and intensified interest in the broader narrative.
It is awful that Diddy owes his life to Mark Agnifilo, literally his life, because he could have gotten life in prison were it not for Mark Agnifilo, his defense lawyer, who had a brilliant strategy And Diddy screwed him over when he hired this videographer to chronicle his life without telling Mark Agnifilo that when Diddy and Mark were on the phone, this videographer was recording what Mark clearly expected to be an attorney-client privileged relationship. Now, it is true that the client holds that privilege, the lawyer doesn't, but Mark's clear expectation was that this was a private conversation. These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly. And Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and tried to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera.
One high-profile figure often mentioned in conversations about distancing from Sean Combs is Oprah Winfrey. Over the years, her past associations with influential individuals such as Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein have been publicly noted, including widely circulated images of shared appearances with Weinstein. Following the emergence of serious allegations against him, observers pointed to a noticeable shift in her public stance, interpreting it as an effort to create distance from those earlier connections. This evolution has continued to draw attention as broader discussions around accountability and influence remain in focus.
The truth is, they should all be under review by the bar associations that they're registered to. All of their licenses should be up for termination. With the shit that we saw in that documentary, with the way Mark Agnifilo was sitting there talking about filing lawsuits, filing fake lawsuits, creating all kinds of hoopla. That shit was on film. Lawyers ain't supposed to be talking that shit.
Yeah, those are strategies that you're not supposed to actually see.
Strategies?
Hey.
Shit is against the law. It's against the fucking law. That's why that black lawyer that left said, I cannot sit here and represent this. I can't represent this dude with the kind of shit that they doing. He wasn't interested in putting his motherfucking license on the line. But you get a weirdo, one the so-called survivor like Nicole Westmoreland, who's willing to get on the stand and cry for Diddy after she'd been ran through by what, Cash Money, right?
Questions have been raised about whether it is purely coincidental that Oprah Winfrey has, at times, been linked through public appearances or past associations to figures who were later involved in major controversies, only for her to later speak out against their actions. This pattern has drawn attention from some observers who argue that the recurrence of such connections makes them difficult to ignore, while others emphasize that proximity does not imply involvement. The discussion continues to evolve, reflecting broader debates about influence, accountability, and how public figures navigate complex networks over time.
Appeal from hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team is seeking his immediate release from federal prison, calling his 50-month sentence on charges of transportation for prostitution excessive. CB Cotton has the details live from our New York newsroom. Good to see you, CB.
Hey, Lydia. Well, once one of the most powerful names in hip-hop, Sean Diddy Combs is now behind bars at that federal facility in Fort Dix, New Jersey, but his legal team says he should have never been sent there for this long. So on Tuesday, in an 84-page filing, Combs' attorneys asked a New York federal appeals court to immediately release Combs and send the case back for a new sentencing or grant him an acquittal. In July, a jury found Combs guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution and acquitted him of the most serious charges, racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking. In the fall, the judge then sentenced Combs to a little more than 4 years behind bars, citing testimony from former girlfriends who said they felt pressured to participate in drug-fueled sex parties with male escorts called hotel nights or freak-offs. But the rapper's lawyers argue this sentence was punishment for crimes that the jury rejected. They wrote in the filing, quote, "He sits in prison today serving a 50-month sentence because the district judge acted as a 13th juror. The judge defied the jury's verdict and found Combs, quote, coerced, exploited, and forced his girlfriends to have sex and led a criminal conspiracy."
Another prominent figure often mentioned in connection with Sean Combs is Jennifer Lopez, who was in a high-profile relationship with him for several years in the late 1990s. In 1999, she was reportedly present during a nightclub incident that drew intense media attention after one person lost their life and another was injured. While no charges were brought against her, Sean Combs faced significant legal scrutiny at the time, placing her in close proximity to a moment that remained under public examination for years.
Combs trying to stop the release of a Netflix docuseries due out today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
It also includes video of Combs greeting fans in Harlem.
Off my back. Long you win. I'm going to win. Long you win, we with it. I'll accept it.
And then saying this about the interaction moments later.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I got to take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Now Combs' lawyers are demanding Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action, claiming Netflix is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release as part of what they call a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alex Stapleton, who said, quote, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights," end quote. Before the cease and desist demand was sent yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson sat down with our Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
Among the high-profile names linked to past controversies involving Sean Combs is Jennifer Lopez, who shared a widely publicized relationship with him for nearly 3 years in the late 1990s. In 1999, she was reportedly present during a nightclub incident that drew intense scrutiny after one individual lost their life and another was injured. Although no charges were filed against her, the situation placed Sean Combs under significant legal pressure at the time, leaving her closely associated with an event that remained under public and media examination for years.
I'm like, okay, more footage is coming out. Great. Who y'all gonna cut out? Who y'all gonna edit out this time? Like, cause that's what I'm gonna be looking for. I'm gonna be looking for all of the shit that they cut out. If the complete and utter truth comes out, 3 things happen. The entertainment industry collapses completely. Millions, possibly billions of advertising dollars don't get made. People go broke. Companies go under. That's why they fucking hate me. Not because I'm telling the truth on people. Because I'm telling the truth about the system. And I'm showing people the reality that the only thing that matters is that dollar. These entities, these companies, they don't care about none of these people. They don't care about none of these victims. They don't care about the perpetrators. They don't care about the prey. Shit, half the time, they're encouraging the predator. They don't care. It's all about the money.
Suge Knight, the former head of Death Row Records, has added another dimension to the ongoing conversation by suggesting that Sean Combs may not have been as untouchable as many once believed. In various interviews, he has implied that Combs may have had an understanding with federal authorities, an assertion he suggests could explain how certain legal pressures were navigated over the years. However, these claims remain unverified and continue to circulate largely through commentary rather than confirmed findings. As the discussion unfolds, attention is also turning to what Jaguar Wright may bring forward next, with each new statement adding momentum to an already intense narrative. What do you think? Coincidence, strategy, or something more? Share your perspective and stay tuned as this story continues to develop.